Call the meeting to order. Oh, please rise. Yes, to join me in a moment of reflection on business that's before us this evening. Please join me in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Alderman Basso.
Here.
Alderman Begley.
Here.
Alderman Bylot.
Here.
Alderman Clifford.
Here.
Alderman Key.
Here.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Here.
Alderman McGovern.
Here.
Alderman McGrogan.
Here.
Mayor, City Clerk, Treasurer, and Attorney all present.
All right, fine. No special presentations tonight. Under the consent calendar, I've got 3 items. The approval of the minutes from the City Council meeting from July 6th, 2021, along with the approval of the payroll and voucher list for the period ending July 16th, 2021, and ask for approval of a request from the Knights of Columbus to conduct their Tag Day on September 17th and 18th, 2021, on designated corners and Palos sites in accordance with the city code. Someone please make the motion to accept the consent calendar.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman
Second.
Violet, seconded by Alderman McGovern. Discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Begley.
Aye.
Alderman Bylot.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman McGovern.
Yes.
All right, no sealed bids that I'm aware of. Just a couple things, just ask, as things are starting to mature now during the summertime, there's a lot of activities that people can take advantage of. Last weekend, we had the car show, which was a big success, a number of cars out there, and I think people had a good time. All the restaurants took advantage of it. Everyone was able to get out there and have a good evening. I just asked, with this new strain of Delta virus, please use caution as you are in groups, and please consider getting vaccinated if you haven't. Please, it's an option. And just as a word of advice, maybe for residents, over the next couple weeks, Harlem Avenue is going to be resurfaced. They've started on the south end of town, and they're going to grind down the street and resurface Harlem Avenue up to the bridge. So just there could be some traffic tie-up to be dealt with over the next couple weeks. So just keep that in mind as you travel down Harlem Avenue. Other than that, no remarks. I would like to entertain a motion to adopt a ordinance authorizing a 12-month extension for the approved PUD on the northeast corner of Harlem Avenue and College Drive at the request of GW Properties. Someone please make that motion.
I'll make it.
Moved by Alderman McGovern. Is there a second? Second by Alderman Violet. Discussion? Roll call?
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Alderman Bylot.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Aye.
Alderman Basso.
No.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman McGovern.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. That's the end of my report. City Clerk, anything?
No report this evening.
City Treasurer?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a treasurer's report for the period ending June 30th. City General Fund began the month with $4,010,192. Revenues $884,519. Expenses for the month were $876,973. Other source use $104,517, giving an ending cash balance in the general fund $3,913,219. Total of all funds began the month with $19,451,204. Monthly revenue $1,740,520. Expenses totaled $1,464,829. Other source use $104,712, leaving an ending cash balance in all accounts of $19,622,183. That concludes my report, Mr.
All right. If there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Treasurer's report.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Violet.
Second.
Second by Alderman Clifford. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. City Attorney?
No report.
Any communication anyone have this evening?
Mayor, if I might. I'd just like to say one thing, and that's about this water project that we have coming through from the city of Oak Lawn. Now, from 127th Street to 131st Street, there hasn't been a human being on that site in over 7 weeks until the beginning of this week. The Crawford Park is destroyed. The outfield, where the outfield grass is supposed to be, it looks like canals going through the outdoor grass right now. And there's nobody out there turning around and doing a darn thing to turn around and fix the place up. I was fortunate enough that Adam over at Public Works turned around and did get finally somebody out here at the beginning of this week. Like I said, after 7 weeks, there was a roller standing on Sequoia Lane. It should have been rusted because it hadn't been moved through all that rain in 7 weeks. Now, I'd like to thank the people that are doing it, because Crawford Park will not be used for this entire year. That's wrong.
Right.
That's all I have to say.
We'll check with, we'll call on to see if we can get something moving on it. I probably appreciate it.
Yeah, because it's at the point now, all it needs is the landscapers.
Yeah.
It doesn't need the workers anymore. It
Right.
just needs the landscapers to turn around and get
All right.
somebody over there.
All right. We'll follow
They're
up on
already
it.
working out in south of 135th Street.
35th Street, right. Okay, we'll follow up on it. The clerk tells me I missed an item here to approve a resolution of adopting a designate and alternate designate to IMRF. I'm sorry, IRM, which IRMA, I'm sorry. Could someone make that motion then, please?
I'll make it.
Moved by Alderman McGovern. Is there a second? Second by Alderman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, sorry about that. Finance Committee,
Mr. Mayor,
I'm sorry.
we have a couple items. The first one on the agenda is number 11. It's a motion to approve the First Amendment to the Verizon Tower Lease Agreement for location 380655.
Moved by Alderman
Second.
Rogan, seconded by Alderman Violet. Discussion?
Mr. Mayor, all
Yes.
we're doing is just increasing the rent.
Okay, that's good. All right, let's see, do a roll call on that.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Alderman McGovern.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Aye.
Alderman Violet.
Yes.
Next one is number 12. This is a motion to approve the amendment number 1 to the standard terms and conditions of the Municipal Systems LLC agreement.
Moved by Alderman McGrogan, sorry, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman McGrogan. Discussion?
Once again, we're just doing some cosmetics, pushing out the expiration date.
Great. Roll call?
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Begley.
Aye.
Alderman Violet.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Alderman McGovern.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes. Number 13, excuse me, is a motion to approve the resolution amending the city's health flexible spending agreement that we have for the city's employees.
Moved by Alderman McGrogan.
Second.
By Alderman Violet. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, that's the end of my report.
Alderman Basso, Public Safety?
Yes, Mayor, I have no items on the agenda this evening, but I would like to report a little story to all of our constituents. I thought that I would go online, because there's not a week that goes by that probably all of us have not entered into this discussion of the latest scam. Did you get this one? Did you hear that one? Have you received this one yet? And I thought I'd go online and look up the 10 most popular or infamous scams currently in the country. And I came across some pretty interesting reading. However, there are probably 30 or 40 sites that have their own top 10, so it was kind of determine which one was the top 10. However, coming back to a personal perspective, my grandchildren recently received their second virus shot. And Grandma, of course, was very concerned about how they were taking it, tried to get a hold of them, and of course, for some reason, they were not responding. No phone calls back from the grandchildren. So as I'm printing out the sheets for the 10 most famous scams today, I get a phone call on a house phone, and hello, no answer, hello, no answer. And so finally, a raspy, out-of-breath voice comes on and says, Grandpa. I said, oh, how are you? Grandma's trying to get a hold of you. I said, how you doing? Oh, not so good. I said, what's wrong? I can hardly breathe. He said, I broke my nose. I said, how did you do that? He said, I was in a car crash. I said, well, who was driving? He says, I was. Well, he's not quite old enough to drive yet. So I asked him his name. I said, who is this? What's your name? He didn't know his name. He didn't know a name to give me. So obviously, as I'm printing out the top 10 scams to warn my constituents about, I'm getting scammed on the phone. But I just thought I would relay that little story to you because it's most interesting. I'm sure, this is the first time I've ever received a grandpa scam. I didn't get far enough into the conversation because I politely cut the call. But I didn't know exactly where he was going with that, but I can only imagine it was a request for money. So, that is one of the top 10 scams, by the way, but it wasn't number one. So, in the future, for my public safety report, I'm going to report on consistently on the scams of the day, or the ones that are most common. We've heard them over and over and over again. For the most part, none of us are immune to being caught up in a scam. Just so happened today, all the stars lined up for this person to call me as my wife, Grandma, is concerned about her grandchildren, reaction to the shot, and I'm getting a call for a scam for a grandchild in a car accident. So if they had called a couple, 4 or 5 hours earlier when I was just getting out of bed and maybe wasn't quite on it yet, I may have gone a little further into this scam. So it's a very frightening thing, even as I was preparing the scam of the day for all my constituents. I just like to, I'm just liking to relate that story to everyone. And just keep your guard up, keep your guard up, keep your guard up. Most of what you get on the internet is not real. It takes about a 1/100th of a second to hit delete. If it's real, I'm sure you'll get a follow-up from somebody sometime into the future. So just beware, and that's the end of my report. Thank
All right,
you.
thank you, sir. Alderman Begley, municipal grounds and property?
Mayor, I don't have any formal report. I just thought I would thank Bonnie and Bob Starzek for their hard work in the car show, beautification committee, police, building department, everybody. They did a great job.
Great,
So
thank you very much. This definitely. Planning and zoning, Alderman McGovern.
The only thing I have, Mr. Mayor, is the planning and zoning meeting for Tuesday, July 27th has been changed. It'll be tomorrow night, July 21st. It'll be at 6 o'clock, right here. Okay?
Very
And that's it.
Thank you, sir. Recreation, Alderman Key.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to approve a payment to Seal Right in the amount not to exceed $10,000 for spot asphalt, seal coating, and relaying the bike lanes on the Kalesag Trail from Lake Catherine parking lot east to the Chicago Christian High School spur and crosswalk.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Key, seconded by Alderman Clifford. Any discussion? Roll call?
Alderman McGovern.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Violet.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
yes.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
And then several years ago, the city acquired the land directly to the east of the rec center, formerly known as the Felder property. And the house that was there was raised, and there's currently just a barn on the property. And we have engaged a design company to give us some ideas on what we could put there on that property. And so with that in mind, there's going to be a community meeting on the 22nd, which is this Thursday night at 6 o'clock. Any of our residents that would like to attend that, just go to the rec center and you can see some ideas from the design company. And then July 22nd is also Movie in the Park at Myers Park. And August 5th is,
Concert.
I take it back. Let me start those days again. July 2nd is Movie in the Park, which is up at Myers Park. And then August 5th is the next concert in the park, which is the Chicago Experience, which is always our biggest attended concert of the year. And I happen to be at another concert at another municipal park this week. And they said at the end of the concert, it was their largest concert ever. And it wasn't a high volume group like Chicago Experience is. People want to get out and do things. And I think And that was evident at the car show as well. We had a nice crowd that night. And so both, just so you know, both the concerts in the park and the movies in the park are all sponsored by CNB Bank right at the corner of 127th and Ridgeland. We want to just say thank you to them for that commitment to our city. And that completes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Alderman Key. Roads and Construction, Alderman Clifford.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To reiterate what you were saying, be prepared for the paving of Harlem Avenue coming through town. They stalled it off for a few events in the car show, but now they're coming in. So expect some delays. The FAU route is on schedule to be completed in October with all work, utilities, and repaving. On last Monday, we started our annual road program over on Menominee from the east side heading west, and letters were sent out previous to that to all those that would be affected by any road improvements or disruptions. So they should have got those letters by then. One thing on the roads thing, it relates to the public safety thing that Alderman Bassett was saying. So I was driving at 120th and 70th Avenue. I was cut off by two little guys on one of these mini motorcycles. I came this close to running them both over. They had no idea, a semblance of time, or what they were doing on there. And not only that, was the one kid who had to be about 8 or 9, had a 5-year-old riding on the crossbar on there. 2 of them just zipped right through there, just came right out of the corner out of nowhere, and I slammed on the brakes. I think I sent Alderman Bassett a picture of it right at the bat. I said, bring this up at public safety because I'm going to address it, because this is starting to get to be a problem. These kids are driving these things and they're just zipping down the street there, and and it's not going to be the motorist that's driving the car. It's going to be at fault. It's going to be these kids, and I don't want to be the one. They have to go to some parent and say, I hit your kids, but it was their fault. They shouldn't be on the street with these things. They're supposed to be under the road, rules of the road, licensed as a motor vehicle. Some kid, one of these days, is going to get hurt if the parents don't start taking a little more responsibility of their actions driving these up and down our street. Not only that, I've noticed in golf carts that are unlicensed and things driving up and down our streets too. And the same thing, young children driving, zipping around in those. So these are things that start going to have to be addressed pretty soon before somebody really gets hurt. And that's it. That's the end of my report.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. License permits and franchises, Alderman Lewandowski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to direct the city attorney to draft an ordinance updating the city code, section 150.110, commercial tents.
Moved by Alderman Lewandowski. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman McGovern. Discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
some of our neighboring communities have taken a look at their commercial tent guidelines, which have expanded during COVID for obvious reasons to get people eating outside, and some of our various businesses have requested to put tents back up, especially during the warmer weather, so people enjoy eating outside. So we took a look at that and wanted to get an ordinance drafted to maybe have some guidelines around it.
Yeah, on the COVID committee, I sit on for the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus. A number of towns said they were starting to do that, expanding their own guidelines because of the popularity, is it overflow from the COVID situation. So it's a good measure to do that. So, discussion. Okay, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, one more item.
Sure.
With regret to inform everybody, our building commissioner, Chris Kransberger, has submitted his notice. He will be moving on to be the building commissioner of the city of Elmhurst. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank Chris for his service to this city, for his professionalism, and for his expertise. It was a very difficult job that he had, being the building commissioner and the code enforcement officer. So you had to balance knowing what you're talking about, but having the diplomacy to deal with situations and try to get our citizens in compliance in certain situations. But it's a big loss for this city, but I wish Chris the best. He's going to do fantastic over there in Elmhurst, and wish him nothing but the best.
Thank you. Water and sewer, Alderman Violet?
No report, Mr. Kennedy.
Special committees, Business and Economic Development, Alderman Key.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So as we were talking about the car show, we're so thankful to Starzik, who run the show, but besides the public works and the police that do an outstanding job cleaning up afterwards and keeping everyone safe, it's just, there are so many volunteers that are working to make sure that the tents are set up and getting the vendors and getting the materials and packing the goodie bags that go to all the cars and collecting the money and stuff. And we say this on a regular basis. Every time there's an event in town, you can be sure that there's countless volunteers doing the work behind the scenes. So we all get to enjoy an event thanks to the volunteerism of our residents, and just so thankful for them. And then a couple weeks ago, I did mention that we have a relationship with Trinity Christian College. They have, part of their business department is Fusion 59, which is their innovation center run by Haley Hegg and Sundeep Vera. And they've been working with some of our businesses in town on social media needs and website needs. And they do some projects for us through their building students, but the students do get grades and things. And so in that regard, this morning, I did an interview with both of those individuals sharing. Channel 4 was generous enough to tape it for us, and are going to show that so that some of our businesses can take advantage of some of the products that Fusion 59 puts out. And then on that same subject, the Chamber of Commerce on July 29th, right at noon, is having a lunch and learn luncheon, and they're featuring Sundeep and Haley to discuss what Fusion 59 is. So if anyone's interested in that, if our people in our business community, residents want to go to that, it's at in the Orchard Room right at noon on the 29th. It costs $15 if you're a business that's already part of the chamber, or $20 if you're a non-chamber member. And they would like your RSVP by this Friday. And you can either go to the chamber area, palosareachamber.org. Let me say that again, palosareachamber.org, and you can RSVP there, or you can call 504-994-1522 and give your RSVP as well. And thank you, Mr. Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Cable TV, Alderman McGovern.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have two things I want to talk about this evening. First is, over the last 3 months, we've had a solid increase of viewership coming from our city website, where they can turn it on anytime they want, they can watch whatever they want and everything else. And it's really come up very well, because from April, when we had 710 viewers, last month we had over 950 viewers. So it's starting to really perk up and really come off. And now that's coming off the city website only. That's not coming off AT&T or Comcast, which is the regular TV channels for them. So my congratulations to Ron and the staff over there again. And then the other thing I want to bring up is Moraine Valley's is going to be starting the monthly interviews on Channel 4. Okay, they're going to start discussing the many classes they offer in the students and adults, for students and the adult classes at the college. Okay, it's going to be, they're actually going to have the department heads come in on TV and talk about it, and talk about their department, and turn around and let you know what's available, especially with the adult, for us, with the adult education courses, and for the students, you know, for the courses that they need to turn around and get their AA degrees so they can continue on. So this is going to be a great lead for the college itself, and I'm glad to say that we're going to be a part of it for them. So that's it.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Any old business? Citizens wishing to ask questions? New business? Look for a motion to recess into executive session for the purposes of, okay, you got that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll be back.